Hi, it's celebrity chef and television personality Zac Young. And people always ask me, as a celebrity chef and television personality, what are your favorite things to do in the desert? So smash that like button, subscribe, and let me show you some of them. First, I love to get outside and explore all of nature's beauty. Wow. Don't forget Palm Springs' fabulous nightlife. And I stock up on unique and delicious foods. Or get inspired by the amazing local produce and cook a delicious meal. Dinner is served. Most of all, I just love laying in the beautiful desert sun. What a perfect day. You know, they asked for a day in the life video, and that's what you get when you ask me the day before. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Palm Desert Food and Wine and the James Beard Lunch. Honestly, my favorite thing to do in the desert is literally this event. This is my 5th year. Yeah, right. So multiply that by 8, and you'll know what my mother has had to deal with my whole life. How many of you have been here before? Show of hands. Excellent. Oh, we have newbies. I love this. All right, here's how it's going to work. In front of you, you will see your wines. They are organized by course, all right? Don't drink them before we tell you to. You will ruin everything. No, not really. So we have 4 incredible chefs. Each chef is paired with a winery. We're going to introduce the wines. The chef is going to demo their dishes. You're going to drink the wine. You're going to eat the dish. Rinse and repeat. And that's it. So we have 4 to go. Pace yourselves. Yeah. Check, check. Also, you should have your programs at your seats. It has info on the chefs. It has your recipes in there if you want to recreate this at home. And my other favorite thing to do here is shopping. So don't forget the silent auction in the back. You will be bidding against me, by the way. So while the chefs are up here, I'll be back there adjusting my bids. So may the force be with you. All right. Any questions? Let's kick this off. We have a fabulous lunch. I want to bring out our first winemaker, Justin Cardwell from The Calling. It's to introduce the 2021 Sonoma Coast Chardonnay that you'll be enjoying first. Justin, there we go. Welcome.
Afternoon.
Sorry, I left your caftan in the car, but
All right.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Good afternoon. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Calling wines. And unfortunately, I'm not the winemaker, just the educator for the company. But as much as we'd like to have our winemaker down, not able to today. But we'll talk a little bit about the Calling. It started as a passion project between wine importer Peter Deutsch and legendary sports commenter Jim Nantz. They happened to have a brief meeting together, just chance happening in a restaurant in Connecticut. And they decided to talk a little bit about their callings in life, what brought them to that time, and found out they had a passion for Sonoma. And Sonoma wines are big, bold, lovely Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and Cabernet Franc. So we start the calling around family, heritage winemakers, and excellence of quality from Sonoma. Your first one here is our 2021 Sonoma Coast Chardonnay. Now, it's a little bit of a fun piece that we have not released this to the public yet. So this is the first time you guys are getting a chance to taste something unreleased in our vintage. You'll have a chance here to taste something nice and creamy with big, bold flavors, all done in neutral French oak. This should pair beautifully with the burrata and bring out some of that nice creaminess from the wine as well from the cheese. Guys, thank you so much, and I'll be back up here for the third course. If you'd like to learn anything more about our wines, feel free to check out the back room with myself and Kyle. We'll be happy to talk a little bit more about the calling. Thanks, Zach.
Great. Thanks, Justin. All right. Well, what goes better with wine than cheese? And back again this year, we have Afrim Pristine, who is Canada's premier cheese master. His shop is over 50 years of family business. He's been featured on Food Network Canada. His book is incredible. All in all, a great guy. I am actually really excited for his dish. So, Afrim, let's get cheesy.
Yes, 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 yes. How are you? How is everybody? This is exciting. Yes, I wore my fanciest shoes for you guys today. They're loud and obnoxious like I am. So welcome, everyone. We're gonna have a fun lunch. Thank you, Zach. Where's Zach there? All right, we got wine. Yeah, so a little bit about who I am, because you're going to have to earn the dish today, okay? You got to just hear me talk for a little bit. But I am from Toronto, born and raised in Toronto. Any Toronto people? Yeah, a few? All right. There's half the chef lineup today is from Toronto, FYI. So go Canada, go. Zac kind of mentioned it. My family and I, we have a business called the Cheese Boutique in Toronto. And what started off as a little tiny little shop, smaller than this little podium here. We were 500 square feet. We started on a $500 loan from the Bank of Canada. We are immigrants. And my first and last name are both of Albanian descent. So my father was born in Albania, and my mother is from Naples. And my dad was born during the Second World War, so he kind of had to move around and shift around a little bit. I call my dad a European hippie because that's kind of what he is. And a very educated person, very smart, very knowledgeable. We never came from money. I mean, for us, every dollar we have, we earned, and I'm very proud of that. And 53 years later, our business is exactly that. Yeah, I'm very proud of that. It's that kind of very classic, very typical North American story, right? With a suitcase and a dream, literally anything is possible. And I have a show on Food Network Canada, but it's also just got bought by Hulu, so y'all can watch it now here in the U.S. I'm very proud of that. It's called Cheese, a Love Story, and it's very much like what you're going to witness today with me. It's totally unscripted, it's fun, it's energetic. I love what I do, and for me, cheese and the dish you see in front of you, my love affair with cheese is very different than most because it literally gave me everything in life. And as cheesy as that sounds, cheese put food on my table, and it did 53 years ago, it does today. We have over 100 staff now at the Cheese Boutique, and we've grown and we've evolved into being more than just a cheese shop. We have 15,000 different ingredients from all over the world. Oils, vinegars, we make our own sausages, we age our own beef, coffees, teas, jams, jellies, crackers, the works. And for me, it's all about respect. So the theme of this dish is respect. I have a huge amount of respect for cheese. I love you, cheese. I love you so much. Without cheese in my family, I'm not here. And I'm not here. I don't have a cookbook. I don't have a show. I don't have any of that without cheese. I love you. This is like, my dish today is as if I'm writing a love letter to cheese. And when you cook, it's so important to just put your whole soul into it. Put your whole heart. Put your mind into it. I am going to talk for 3 hours. So please start eating, okay? That's kind of the whole point. I want you guys to start eating. There's wine, there's cheese. Here we go, everyone. So, and I get wine too. So cheers to everybody here. Palm Desert, I love you. I love you, love you. All right. So what we're going to do is first make a vinaigrette. So this dish, so my father, I talk about my parents a lot because they're two of the best people I've ever known. And my father taught me about cheese. He really kind of mentored me into, how beautiful cheese is and how it's made and how it's ripened. And then I probably worked on 25 different cheese dairies, some of the best in Europe. And my mother, who's from southern Italy, is, how everyone says their mother is the best? I checked. My mom is the best, okay? I checked. It's a true story. She's from Naples, and she taught me how to cook. She got me in the kitchen when I was a kid, and it's amazing. She's now 76 years old and still glides in the kitchen. It's like she just floats around the kitchen. She never makes a mess. She can cook for my brothers and I and all the nieces and nephews and grandkids. She really taught me that food brings people together. So this dish is very much a Mrs. Pristine infused, inspired dish. This is like the Mediterranean on a plate, okay? How are the first couple of bites, okay? All right. So the key, and please, the vinaigrette, don't waste any of that. It's kind of the magic about that whole dish. So what I'm going to do, I'm really going to make this dish from start to finish here. So we're making the vinaigrette first. And this is, you guys have the recipe to take home, so I'm expecting a whole bunch of Instagram posts of this dish after this lunch here. So, olive oil in the bowl. This is taking forever, this olive oil. What's going on here? All right, here we go. We have some beautiful olive oil. The thing about this dish, ladies and gentlemen, don't cheap out on the ingredients. You deserve it, all right? Just look at it that way. You deserve to be splurged on, all right? Get good olive oil, get good balsamic vinegar. Go to your kind of store where you buy these ingredients and go all out, all right? So here we have some beautiful Greek organic olive oil. And this guy right here is the aged balsamic vinegar. So this is a 10-year-old balsamic vinegar. So I'm using the exact same products that you guys have on your plate. So balsamic vinegar is essentially fermented grape juice, right? So they cook down grapes. They cook them down to extract the sweetness, and then the balsamic vinegar ages in oak barrels. Sometimes oak barrels, sometimes cherry wood barrels, juniper wood barrels, mulberry. Balsamic vinegar comes from one place and one place only, in Modena. And Modena is a town in the region of Emilia-Romagna in north central Italy. And Modena is also known for Parmigiano Reggiano, Ferraris, Ducatis, beautiful Lamborghinis, really fancy schmancy, expensive stuff comes from this one town. So we did 3 parts of the Greek organic olive oil, 2 parts of the aged balsamic vinegar, some Maldon salt. So I love using coarse flaked salt. I think it makes a dish really pop. It's salt with texture and with crunch. I love it. So a couple of pinches of the salt and fresh cracked pepper. All right? And guys, this is not rocket science. This is just, again, very ingredient driven. That's my food. So olive oil, balsamic, salt, pepper, and we stir. And what's happening now, and again, I know it's not rocket science, but what's happening now is the olive oil and the balsamic are mixing together. From 2 separate ingredients, they're becoming one. When making a vinaigrette, everyone at home, when you're making a salad, okay, try to get away from just pouring the olive oil on your greens or pouring the balsamic vinegar on your greens. What happens, it really tends to just wash off and fall off of your beautiful greens. Make a vinaigrette. Let's have these ingredients really make love together and really get to know one another, right? That's what's happening here. Olive oil, balsamic, salt, pepper, easy. we have some beautiful pistachios. I love pistachios, all right? So that's gonna add that kind of Mediterranean kind of feel to it. So these are just roughly chopped pistachios going into the bowl here. Again, give it another quick little stir. Those pistachios are just gonna absorb the olive oil, the vinegar. They're making love in this bowl, all right? Sesame seeds. I love anything with sesame, period. I just love it. I think it adds like a beautiful flavor. It gives a really nice look to the dish as well. So we got some sesame seeds in there. And what's happening too, as I'm stirring this, I'm adding air into the vinaigrette, which is naturally thickening the dressing. The longer you do this prior to dressing your food, the better. The more intense this dressing will become. I was here at 7 a.m. this morning, all right, making this dressing for you all right? And believe me, a little bit, I wanted to sleep in a little bit. We had a good night last night, but no, I'm here for you guys today, all right? Sesame seeds, pistachios, and fresh mint. I love mint. I think mint is like such an underrated ingredient. I love how floral it is. I love how vibrant and fresh tasting it is. It really brings the dish to another level. So a kind of a handful of mint, all right? Give it a rough chop. Just a nice kind of rough chop. Doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be beautiful, all right? I like the word rustic. I use the word rustic a lot. So we want to rustically chop this mint. And you know what rustic really means? It's a fancy word for sloppy. But like if you use the word rustic, it's just like, oh, it's so rustic and, you know. Believe me, guys, it works. All right, so the mint is going inside. It's not bad, right? Here we go. So the mint is going inside. And guys, like this is our dressing. It's not rocket science. But there's so much love and beautiful like flavor in here. So you can totally switch this recipe to really make a vinaigrette for any dish. Take the pistachios out, add almonds, add walnuts, add hazelnuts. Take the balsamic vinegar out, add red wine vinegar, champagne vinegar. You can totally interchange the ingredients, but the method should be the same. Make a vinaigrette. Take 5 minutes out of your very hard-working, long day, I'm sure. It's going to make a big difference, all right? I'm forcing vinaigrettes on everyone. This is like my thing now. All right, now, next, let's talk about the cheese, which is the star of the show here. Do we have cheese fans here? Like, yes? All right, yes. All right. So this is burrata cheese. All right, let's talk about this. Can you guys see all this? Man, I love this show. They think of everything. Look at that. All right, so this is Bel Gioioso Burrata. So this company, I can't keep this in stock at the Cheese Boutique. Burrata has taken the food world by storm. Probably like 2009, 2010, it just skyrocketed. Everyone wanted burrata. It was on every restaurant menu. It was one of those cheeses. And it's like buffalo mozzarella on steroids, really. It's just like a beautiful cheese. So Bel Gioioso, they're an Italian family. That's the name of their family. They're an Italian family, have made cheese 4 generations for over 100 years. They came to Wisconsin. Guys, this is a Wisconsin burrata that you're eating here right now. And it's absolutely world class. All right, cheese heads, right? The Green Bay Packers are the cheese heads for a reason. All right? I don't know what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers. We don't know, everyone. It's still early. Jets, I don't know. All right. So, Bel Gioioso Burrata, this is a family. This is what they do. And they do a lot of different styles of fresh cheese. Buffalo mozzarella, stracciatella, ricotta, those beautiful Italian fresh-inspired cheeses. So this is the ball of burrata, all right? So it's kind of like 2 cheeses in one. So, these are about 125 grams. You each got half a ball. I'm going to cut this. But really, what you do, I'm just going to cut it in half because I want to show you. So inside here, all right? Yeah, look at that. See that? So the shell itself is a buffalo mozzarella. Inside is another cheese called stracciatella. So this is considered a cheese. It falls into the category of pasta filata. And pasta filata in Italian translates to filled pasta. That's kind of what this is. This is the ravioli of cheese, okay? So it's the shell that's stuffed with the stracciatella. It's spectacular. And each texture has a different flavor. It's a beautiful cheese. And it's the biggest pain in the butt to make, because you have to like stretch this mozzarella and you have to cup it, okay? And you have to, like, it comes in like an assembly line. So I've made burrata in Italy with like a bunch of nonnas, right? I was like 25 at the time. I thought I knew absolutely everything. And these 75-year-old women made me look so bad so fast. It was like, oh my God. I was incredibly humbled very quickly, because you cup this mozzarella and there's this machine that sits in front of you that shoots this stracciatella inside. So you have to have like the perfect amount. If you have too much stracciatella, the whole thing blows up. It just has to be the right amount. It's really a labor of love, is this cheese. Right in the middle of the plate, all right? We have some beautiful watercress. So I love watercress. I wanted to really use a lot of California ingredients here. You guys have a beautiful climate for everything. So nice watercress, which is gonna add some like crunch and some texture and some pepperiness, all right? Then we have our lovely vinaigrette, which is on standby right now. But yeah, this cheese is like, think of this cheese like a canvas, right? Think of this cheese like a canvas. It wants to be painted on. I am Picasso now. I'm about to like paint all over this thing. So first, we have peas. I love peas. Peas are like my favorite food in the world. So these are just a very quick blanch, 90 seconds in boiling water, and then wash them under cold water so they don't get mushy. We want a little bit of crunch and texture on the peas. So I put a whole bunch of peas right in the center of the plate here, all right? And then we're about to paint on this burrata. And the best part about this cheese, or this dish, honestly, for me, is this dressing. I absolutely love it. It's the sesame and the vinegar, and it just like really like seeps in, right? So that dressing just like seeps into the cheese and dresses all of it. A touch of a little bit of salt right here. A little bit of some nice crostinis. Like, that's not the worst thing in the world, right? Did you guys enjoy that? And like who can't make that? Who can't make that? I swear, like with two hands tied behind my back, I think I can make that. But that's the cheese, guys. It's a really, or that's the dish, really like fresh, vibrant. I love peas. Has anyone had peas and burrata? This is like my thing, all right? It's going in my next cookbook. It's kind of like my thing. And like, that's the dish, everyone. That's the dish. But I'm not done. I'm not done. I want to hang out a little bit now. I want to hang out. And you know, there's an incredible lineup of chefs. Jamie Gwen is next. Tyler Florence, who like, I have a total man crush on Tyler Florence. And Yolanda, who is like the Beyonce of cakes, from Toronto, everyone. She's from Toronto. And I really want to thank you guys for coming. I hope you enjoyed. And like for me, this is a very special moment, right? Like not everyone gets to be invited to a very well-run show like this. And I have my in-laws are here, my wife is here, my 21-year-old nephew is here, and to have them here watching me, I love you all. I don't know what else to say. So thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Enjoy lunch, all right? It only goes uphill from here now, okay? I promise you. Love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Afrim, by the way. I want him to win like an Oscar or an Emmy or something. Yeah. Like I feel like that was like a great acceptance
You're
speech.
used to it. My friends in Seattle are used to it, but we are not. And you know, I have a little one.
Oh, yeah.
And we, like,
or maybe the Tony for like cheese!
After a while,
exclamation point!
Yeah, after a
the
while,
musical.
Like, you go.
I'm down for that. How was everyone's first course? Yeah. I know. I got a little sneak of it backstage, so I'm good. So I did want to take a moment to talk about a very important beneficiary of Palm Desert Food and Wine Festival, which is Coachella Valley's Find Food Bank. If you guys know Find Food Bank, you know that it's Coachella Valley's regional food bank. They work with a network of 100 community-based organizations to provide food access and assistance to an average of 85,000 people per month. They distribute over 10 million pounds of food assistance yearly. And we have a little video.
Across the Coachella Valley and in cities throughout the desert region, people are lining up for food. They come in droves, on foot and in cars, alone or with family, to pick up for themselves and for neighbors, in parking lots and schools, churches and convention centers. In every valley city, the lines for nourishment are substantial, and the need is even greater. Parents, grandparents, students, veterans, employed, underemployed, and jobless. Food insecurity does not discriminate. No matter the story, Find is here to help.
They need time to set for me. Sorry.
All right. So to tell us more about Find and the great work they do, I want to introduce Debbie Espinoza, the CEO and president of Find Food Bank. Debbie joins Find with multiple years in the nonprofit sector and specific experience dedicated to ending hunger locally and around the world. Debbie?
Wow, thank you so much. It's amazing to be here. Before I begin talking about what hunger in our community looks like and how all of you can help, I just want to say thank you to Palm Desert Food and Wine, to Palm Springs Life, to Agua Caliente for sponsoring this event. Over the last 5 years, we've actually had the ability to put over 200,000 meals into the community because of this event right here. And we couldn't do it without everybody that's been coming here over the years. So let me explain to you, while we're in the process of transitioning the chefs today, the meaning of what you can do for our community. We, as the regional food bank, ensure that all of our rescue missions, all of our soup kitchen congregate feeding sites, all of our local community centers, and all of our mobile pantries, over 150 different locations, have enough food to be able to support our community when they don't have enough to eat. That is what we do on an everyday basis. And during the time of the pandemic, we actually served at the height over 190,000 people on average every month. Thank you. But today we are still going. Because of the way in which our California economy continues to move, the gas prices are high, medical bills are high, rent is high, the utilities are high, and we're all feeling it. So a lot of the people that we serve, while they were supposed to be recovering from what happened in the pandemic, they're still struggling to make ends meet. In fact, 98% of the people that we serve are actually people that work. And these people that work, they're seniors, they're adults, they're families that take care of kids, which means that those kids are also struggling too as well. But I don't want you to feel sorry for any of them because they don't want you to feel sorry for them. What we can do today is we can celebrate our ability to be able to make a difference together in this room like every other crowd that has come in for this event over the last 5 years, to make sure that we can stay strong and solid, to make sure people have something to eat so we can take care of those families, we can take care of those kids, and while we're enjoying our meals, we can help them enjoy their meals too. $25 has the ability to put approximately 100 meals into the community. And I'm very excited to say that some of you that are repeat heres that have come in previous years, they've already walked up and have given me envelopes that have made donations already. So what I would love to ask people to do is, if you can get your green envelope and just hold it up. Just hold up your green envelope. And then I want you to look to the person next to you and say, can you help? And I want everybody to say, I will. All we're looking for is $20 or more to put $100 meals. And we have the ability to do almost $10,000 if people do $20 on average today. So thank you so much for everybody being here. Thank you for your support. And thank you for making sure that there's a difference in the community. On your way out, you're going to see people with baskets. All you got to do is just deposit the little green envelopes into the baskets on your way out. And we're very happy to be able to say thank you for all of your support. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for all you do, too. Thank you. You know, it was interesting, the whole can you help and turning to your neighbor, presenting the envelope, because, you know, as much as these organizations, yes, what do they need? Cash, of course. It's like me on Christmas when my parents ask me what I want. It's cash. But there are so many other things that you can do as well, whether it's volunteering, whether it's amplifying it, sharing it, turning to your neighbors, telling your neighbors about the organization. It doesn't always have to be cash, but cash is king. So, just wanted to throw that out there. Oh.
I'm back.
Wow. Hey, buddy.
I'm back. We're just getting ready for the next course, and I wanted to share one more story with you. And if that's okay, Zach.
Yeah.
So I have
Here,
this fancy.
This is the rest of the program.
These are yours.
Is that seat taken? I'll take that.
So
yeah, okay, cool.
Go ahead, Zach. Take a breather. Put your
Have a
feet
good
up.
one. Thank you, Palm Springs. Thank you, Palm Desert. Bye.
So I want to share a story, and it's a little bit tooting my own horn, but it's something I'm proud of. All right. So I am not like a chef like some of these other chefs. All right. See on my jacket it says Cheese Master. That's my title. This is something I've earned. This is not like self-proclaimed Cheese Master.
I thought it was nepotism.
No.
This is like family, baby cheese.
No, you got to grease people a little bit. So there's 4 levels of something called this Cheese Master title that I have. I have the second highest level. So in 2013, in February, in France, there was this whole big, I'm kind of like a big deal with cheese, all right? So they invited me over, and it was like a whole cloak and dagger. I essentially got knighted for everything I've done with cheese. I'm kind of like Luke Skywalker of cheese, all right? That's kind of like my role. But there's only 50 Cheese Masters ever. I was the youngest to ever get it, the only Canadian to ever get it, and one of 3 people ever in North America. So not bad, right? This is the thing. When all these people, I am not a chef. There are hundreds and thousands of amazing chefs all over the continent, but there's only one Cheese Master, everybody. There's only one of me. And and I'm not tooting this, I'm not saying this to toot my horn. I'm proud. I'm proud of what my family and I have accomplished. And I'm even more proud because when I got this, it really kind of threw up on the cheese world radar that, hey, in North America, we know what we're doing with cheese. It's not just the talented people in Europe. It's all of us, all right?
It's also the talented people at Kraft, Belvita.
Hey, they pay my bills, too.
Yeah, I know. Join the club.
I don't judge.
It's all owned. Also, did you make a toot joke?
A which?
A toot joke?
Toot?
You said toot your own horn.
Oh, cut the cheese, too.
Yeah.
I've heard them all, everybody. I've heard them all.
I know.
I've heard them all.
Sponsored by Lactaid.
Yeah, that's it. But I just wanted to share that story with you guys, and that's it. Next course is coming along shortly. All right? Another Oscar? No, that's it.
Emmy.
Enjoy,
Emmy.
guys.
Give this back to me.
Enjoy. Thank you.
I adore you, by the way. Also, who knew, food people so geeky, cheese people, perfect blend of, science and art, very much like winemaking, too. Yeah, cheese people are my people. They're just, weird dorks. So, sorry, buddy. All right. And speaking of my people, I want to welcome back Scott Bellacci from ZD Wines. He was here last year. I'm a huge fan of their wines. We have 2 courses with them.
You can call me a wine dork. It's okay, Zach. I appreciate that.
Okay.
No, I'm really excited to be back here supporting James Beard Foundation and being able to provide you guys with a little bit of Napa Valley in the Palm Desert. So super excited to feature today's course pairing with Chef Jamie Gwen. She's a total badass and got an amazing course coming out for you guys. And we have our 2021 Founders Reserve Pinot Noir coming out for you. Kind of like the calling, this wine will be available April 1st. But I'm wine near and dear to my families. We started making wine in 1969, definitely as a hobby project. We had a background in aerospace engineering at the time, so we thought, hey, what the hell, we could try to make wine at least. So it was a few-year project of actually figuring out if we were doing a good thing or not, and in the mid-'70s, it started really taking off for us. And so we started purchasing the property we have today in the 70s in Rutherford, so middle of Napa Valley. Open every day if you happen to be in the area and want to come visit us. And the wine today is a Founders Reserve that is a Hansel clone from our Carneros estate. We pride ourselves on farming everything organically, so every berry that comes through the door is certified organically farmed. And this wine itself is only about 500 cases, so very small production, earthy, rich, funky. We were really happy with this wine and how it's turned out, and we're really excited to show it to you today with Jamie's food. So I'll leave it at that. Fun times back at the Palm Desert Food and Wine. So
It's 499 cases after...
You took one.
Yeah, exactly.
Understood.
Don't check the back of my truck. All right, our next chef is someone whom I adore. If you've been to Palm Desert Food and Wine, you will know Jamie Gwen. She is a syndicated radio host, a TV star, a 7-time cookbook author, a certified somm. What an overachiever. And it's a good thing she's pretty and nice, because if not, I wouldn't like her. This is your Jamie Gwen. Come.
Yay!
Yes.
Hi, everybody. Hi.
Oh.
And with the wine, too. All right, so we were debating this backstage. This is
Stay
your...
away from my Pinot Noir. You
and
stand
apparently
over there, and I'll
stay away
stand
from-
over here.
It's
Okay.
electric.
Yes.
This is your... How many?
This is my 7-9 something.
7th, 9th.
7th, 9th.
Palm Desert Food and Wine.
Nobody can remember. Yeah.
We always have fun with you. So apparently we can't be together according to the laws of electricity. So,
I'm ready.
Jamie,
Thank you.
stage is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I am so glad to see all of you. I am so grateful to be here. You have very good taste. And the only reason I walked out with wine is because I like to say, if it's an ingredient, right, then it's meant to be here. Yes. Just sit it right there. This is my 7th or 9th or whatever it is, privileged. Okay, Jonathan, that's gonna drive someone crazy. Maybe, yeah, better? Okay. How's that? I don't want to hurt you, I want you to like me. This is my 7th or 9th very blessed Palm Desert Food and Wine event. This is my 2nd James Beard, and for that I am humbled. And to all of you, thank you for being here and for the tremendous support of this amazing festival. You are about to be served a 2nd course that is quintessentially, hi, you're my perfect contact point. You are about to be served a 2nd course that is quintessential spring. And Afrim and I were trying to figure out how neither of us knew that we had a slightly similar plate designed, but we're going to embrace the season. What is about to arrive is a sort of mixed course, I'd like to call it. It started with the idea that I am cream puff obsessed. Are any of you cream puff obsessed? Yes? Do you know why I'm cream puff obsessed? Because cream puffs are made from what is called pâte à choux, and you're gonna learn how to make it, and you're gonna be a culinary hero. But churros are also crafted from pâte à choux, and I love me a churro. As are profiteroles and eclairs and gougères and all the lovely, delicious things in the world. Now this cream puff could be savory or sweet, and I decided it should be savory. So it is filled with a port and chicken liver mousse and stuffed to the brim. It's finished with smoked salt, and it's set alongside an arugula salad with rhubarb and toasted hazelnuts and prosciutto crunch, and it is meant to be your salad course of sorts. I love the gal right in the front that just went right in for the cream puff. I love that. I like you. As those plates are delivered, I love that Afrim tells so many stories, and I do the same. I was raised by a mom who is a pastry chef without a degree, and so she made cream puffs for like 1,000, but they never came. I wanted to teach you how to make cream puffs at home and give you a little backstory to it as well. So are you ready? I know, you're eating, you're busy, you're good. All right, here we go. Talk about cream puffs for a second. Come on. There we go. For those of you that I don't know, I grew up sitting on the counter in the kitchen watching my mother cook. I went on to culinary school. I had the privilege of working with Emerald for a lot of years. And I share what I love on TV and the radio, but it's my intention to hopefully educate and arm you and entertain you with something that you will go home and make so that you feel like a culinary hero, right? So, cheers. They're toasting in the front, and I love that. Cheers. Cheers. This Pinot Noir, by the way, and I'll interrupt myself, that Scott introduced is the Founder's Reserve from ZD. 300 cases. It's pretty fabulous, actually. It was created and labeled after his father-in-law, who has since passed, who started the winery. So this is a very special wine. So cheers to you. Yeah. All right, let's talk about cream puffs for a second, because my mother made cream puffs like it was going out of style. And here's the thing. I believe that cream puffs, or pâte à choux, was actually developed in the 16th century because Catherine de' Medici wanted to serve cream puffs to the royal court in France. So, it's a very fancy or fanciful recipe that is really easy to make, right? And it makes you, yes, you can't hear me. Okay, good to know. Jonathan? Jonathan. Oh. Oh, that's better. No, I think I have to go with what you said. Yes, please. Thank you. Want to swap it out? All right. We're going to change out this microphone. Oh, can you hear me in the back now? Should I start over? No. Please, God, no. Tell her. Don't start over. All right, we're making pâte à choux dough. Why are we making pâte à choux dough? Because pâte à choux makes cream puffs and profiteroles and gougères and churros and eclairs. And who wouldn't love it, right? It can be made sweet or savory, and it will make you a culinary hero. And if you didn't hear me say it, my mom used to make pâte à choux dough all the time when I was growing up. And so it's sort of like ingrained in me. And I think it's one of those master techniques that you should just know. So I've got a pot on the stove, and to it I am going to melt some butter while Jonathan does his magic. Okay, thank you. Now you're watching how it, ooh, that sounds good. Better? Thank you. Sorry, watch your arm. Thank you. Okay. Are we back together? Okay, good. All right. Back on track. Pat a choux. The dough can be made sweet or savory, just so you know. And the beauty of it is that it is one of the most impressive things to serve, but it freezes geniusly. So what you'll do is you'll make a batch of pat a choux dough, and you'll store it in the freezer. And then when your friends or neighbors next door stop by with Pinot Noir, you'll say, oh, but wait, I have gougère, the fancy term for cheesy cream puff. Like Afrim said, we call it rustic so we can make it messy. And I love that. So when you pull out that bottle of Pinot Noir, you're going to pull out your gougère from the freezer, and you're going to throw them into a hot oven, and they are going to puff beautifully. Now, the chemistry behind a pat a choux dough is essentially this. The water in the dough creates the puff. And if you know a cream puff, right, it has that sort of spider webby, puffy interior with the exterior of sort of, crunch and texture, right? And that's the beauty of it. The water evaporates while it's in the oven at a high oven, about 400 degrees. And then you turn the oven down so they get golden and caramelized and beautiful. And they actually freeze from fully baked very beautifully as well, so that you can stuff them with something delicious like pork chicken liver mousse or foie gras. Or by the way, you can cheat this and buy one of those tubs of the foie gras terrine that you love and put it in a pastry bag and stuff your little cream puffs just the same. So here's how you make, can you see here? No, you can't see here. Come this way. Oh, we have a camera up above? Hello. Okay, good. Very good. This is what you do. You start with butter, milk, water, and salt. Pretty simple, right? Pretty basic. And once that butter melts and the mixture comes up to a simmer, you regulate your temp and you dump in a bunch of all-purpose flour. It is seriously this simple. And while it is over the heat, you vigorously stir to create what is essentially a lovely dough. Now it takes about 2-3 minutes to come off the sides of the pot and to come together. But what you get is a dough that starts to release on its own. And I'm going to show it to you through the magic of television. It takes a little bit of elbow grease as you see it come together. But this is just how easy it is. Do you see how that is releasing off the sides of the pot? All right. It starts to get glistening and soft. And here's what I love, because if you know me, you know I love my appliances. It goes into an electric mixer. God bless those, right? See that release? That's what you're looking for. And we go in with eggs, one by one. We'll let this run for just a minute so that we can cool that dough down. Because you had scrambled eggs this morning, right? Yeah, we don't want that again. So you've got this lovely, smooth, easy release dough. And you go in with an egg at a time. It's like a beach towel. So the desert, I love it. And you will see it starts to look a little creepy Halloween for a moment, but if you watch, it comes together beautifully. 4 eggs in, you're going to have what is a glorious patasciutto. There we go. Now, through the magic of television, there should be a couple in here that aren't stuffed, but they all are. I won't bore you with it. You're going to take your cream puff dough, and you're going to either pipe or scoop with an ice cream scoop onto a cookie sheet. They go into the oven and they fluff and puff, and you have this beautiful, airy, lovely, gorgeous cream puff. Now you ask, how did you get that lovely pate suspended? But how, right? You can use a pastry bag, you can use a Ziploc bag, you could actually use a spoon and poke a hole, but what I like to do is secretly from the bottom of that cream puff, find the largest one here, you poke a hole in and squeeze. And then you have this little beautiful puff, right? How was it? Was it good? It was good. It was really good. Hold on, I'll tell you how the wine pairing is. That's lovely. Did you like the salad? All right, so this is your summer salad. Excuse me. This is your summer salad, right? Arugula, strawberries, sweet, sweet strawberries, coming into season. I don't like that one. Rhubarb, raw. Have you all had rhubarb raw before? I love rhubarb raw. Sugar and lemon juice, like a quick 5 minutes, and then drained. It's delicious, right? It's got such great crunch, and we want to embrace the season. So we've got some raw rhubarb here, or macerated rhubarb if you want to sound fancy. And some dates, which you all in the desert bring to us, thank you, everywhere. I love dates. I'll add extra, just for fun. Some toasted hazelnuts. Love that. And what is a really simple vinaigrette. So I don't know if you recall, hopefully you were all here last year, and I introduced you to vanilla paste. Are y'all using it? Okay, good. For those that don't know, this is a step above vanilla. Essentially what it is it's the vanilla bean, the interior of the bean, suspended in a neutral gel. So rather than an alcohol base, which is what your usual vanilla extract is, this vanilla paste packs a punch. It's like 10 times the beauty of vanilla extract. And it has the seeds suspended, and the flavor is unbelievable, in my opinion. So I use it in place of, there's your lemon juice, your sugar. I use it in place of traditional vanilla extract. Now, I make a super simple vinaigrette with white balsamic. Are you all using white balsamic? I know Afrim, yes, I love white balsamic. Afrim used traditional balsamic. The white is sweeter. I think it lends itself to the bitterness of the arugula and the tartness of the rhubarb. I'm going to go in with some vanilla paste. Is that my whisk of choice here? Oh, that's all the goodness. Salt and pepper. This is like the easiest vinaigrette ever, but it'll become your go-to. Nope. All right. And olive oil. Just suspend all those beautiful vanilla pod beauties into that vinaigrette. And be sure to taste it. You know, this is a great mention. For those of you that love to cook or love to eat, you do have a vessel of spoons by your stove, right? Because I think that one of the greatest challenges of great cooks is that you put a dinner on the table, but you haven't yet tasted it, right? If you keep a hodgepodge of spoons by the stove, you'll find yourself tasting and perfecting the seasoning, and the dishes that you put out will come alive with flavor. So this is a great chef's secret if you're not already doing it. That's good. And that vanilla vinaigrette just goes simply over those greens with all the goodness. And a pair of tongs, maybe. A little toss. And you've got it made. So that you can recreate it at home. Chefs toss salad with hands, best tools ever. So I pile the greens on the bottom and layer all the good stuff on the top. Just like that. And those gougere or cream puffs. Gougere is traditionally cheese, so I like to overstuff them. Just like that. And since it's my plate, I think we should gild the lily, don't you? These are beautiful, just set out with wine as well as a snack. And that's that. That is a spring salad. With a little bit of crunch. Did you all love the prosciutto crisp? Yeah? On a baking sheet, parchment paper or a silicone baking mat in the oven at 375 degrees, right? 8 minutes later, voila, prosciutto redefined. And I love that. A little bit more dust. Maybe some more cracked pepper. Can you tell I don't want to go? And there you have it. When you make pâte à choux at home, when you are a culinary hero, please post at Chef Jamie Gwen so that I know. And thank you for welcoming me back to Palm Desert Food and Wine. I love being here. I want to do a quick shout out and a thank you. For 20 years, I have had a really, truly tremendous partner in business. Melissa's Produce is that company. And you know that their products are available in your grocery store and that you can go to their website as well. They provided all of the bounty of beautiful produce for our James Beard Luncheon, and I would like to acknowledge them. So thank you, Melissa's Produce. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, where is that Zac Young friend of mine? No, you're not on yet. I mean, you're on, but you're not on.
Yes. Oh, there we go. I was just doing a little shopping, you know, at the silent auction while you guys were enjoying Jamie's delicious course. Oh my God, that looks so good.
See you later,
there are
alligator.
some like amazing large format bottles of wine, completely unsponsored. There is this Wolf chef's knife.
Thank you.
That is a collaboration with
It's a tough crowd.
David
They're all
Yellowhorse,
they're all
and
talking.
this handle, he does all of these like
They're all
gemmed
chit-chat.
handles, black onyx.
And then
I mean,
I
this
got up
is like the
there, and then
sexiest
they served
chef's
it.
knife.
It wasn't-
I will be heavily bidding on that. By the way, silent auction does close right before dessert course, so you still have a little bit of time. But go check it out. Try to beat me for this knife, all right? All right. So for our next course, I want to bring back Justin from The Calling to introduce the wine. I love that we just have two wine guys here.
Makes it easy, doesn't it?
It really does. I'm terrible with names, by the way.
You got it right twice. That's all that really matters.
True.
Isn't it a fantastic couple of courses so far? I have to be a little honest. It's kind of starstruck to be up here with Zac and getting to introduce a wine before Tyler Florence. It's
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. Big guy is backstage.
Oh, don't sell yourself short.
Is that a short joke?
Not at all.
Wow. Take the cheap shot.
Only when I hand.
I have a knife in.
Guys, thank you so much. What you're going to be tasting next is our 2019 Alexander Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. If you've never been up to the Alexander Valley, just north of Healdsburg and Sonoma, it's a beautiful part of California. And Cabernet loves a lot of dry heat in the afternoon and a big, wonderful, cool breeze at night. So this makes a wonderfully full and lush Cabernet that's going to pair beautifully with this surf and turf you'll be tasting next. Look for a little bit of blackberry and deep fruit notes and a little bit of cocoa that comes in from the American oak finish that we do in this wine. If you get a chance to stop by our table in the back, we also have a 3-liter bottle of Pinot Noir up for auction signed by Jim Nance himself. So please come back there and take a look. And if you get a chance to stop by over the course of this weekend, check out our booth as well. We'll be pouring some of our single vineyard and platinum wines that are only available through our wine club and direct to the consumer like you. So guys, really excited to have this next course here for you. Zac?
Sorry, well, security came and got me. I had to give back the knife. Blah, 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 blah. Silent auction.
Thank you so much, sir.
You know, a little bit of chaos. All right, so our next chef is a 27-year veteran of Food Network. 27. He's the host of the Emmy-nominated series Tyler's Ultimate, The Great Food Truck Race, the author of 16 cookbooks. His restaurant portfolio includes Wayfare Tavern, an outpost in San Francisco Airport, and his new steakhouse, Miller & Lux. He also has a full-stack production company, Monarch Collective, Inc. Tyler produces content for TV, digital media, created videos for a roster of luxury brands and clients. I mean, what else do we need to say about him? He is the ultimate. He is one of the original Food Network stars. I'm just going to keep dragging this out. You know, actually, I told him backstage when I was my first survival job in New York, I worked at a high-end furniture and home furnishing stores. And one day, this guy pulls up in a car, runs in, grabs all of this bedding, like supermarket sweep style, like throws his card, jumps back in the car. This is like 30 seconds. I was like, what just happened? Was that Tyler Florence? It was. I looked at the Amex receipt. I wasn't going to tell that story, but ladies and gentlemen, Shaniqua Joyner. All right. I think we're ready for him. Please welcome Chef Tyler Florence.
What's up, Brock? How are you, Zac? Good to see you, buddy. How are you? How you doing? That's a true story, by the way. That's how I shop. I'm in and I'm out. I get it done. Palm Desert, how you guys doing? Lovely. I am so excited to be here. If some of you don't understand the hype, my name is Tyler Florence. I'm a chef on the Food Network for 27 years now. Isn't that wild? Great Food Truck Race, Tyler's Ultimate, How to Boil Water, Worst Cooks in America. It goes on and on and on. I've written 16 cookbooks. I just finished my 17th cookbook. Thank you very much. It's called American Grill. The new book is going to be out next spring. And I think it's my best work. I'm really, really excited about it. I just got the manuscript polished up by my co-writer, and the photography looks fantastic. And how many people out there are the kings and queen of the grill in the backyard? Right? Yeah. This book is for you. This book is for my favorite people out there, right? So next spring, American Grill is going to be out there. We got a big tour coming up. Maybe we'll swing through this area. Wouldn't that be fun? Yeah, that'd be great. Are you guys having a good time now? Well, first of all, I want to thank the Palm Desert Food and Wine Festival for inviting us. We've been invited several times to be a part of this in the past, and it was always sort of a scheduling issue why we couldn't make it, but we made it happen this year, and we could not be more thrilled to be here with you guys today. And so simultaneously, I'm going to put together our dish that you guys are about to enjoy for lunch. And our corporate culinary director, Matt Macera, is literally right behind this tent over here, putting all of our dishes together. So when I count to 3, I want everybody to say, "Thank you, Matt." Is that okay? All right? Right? 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Matt. He can hear you over there. So he's putting all this together for us. So we're going to have a good time. So this is a surf and turf dish that we're going to be making today. And we have all of our mise en place that we're putting together. Now, this particular dish, what I really, really like about it, there's some good nuts and bolts from cooking technique that you guys can absolutely make at home. And we are also going to make a really spectacular, showy dish that you guys are going to celebrate for the art of it all right? So we're going to make a really super fancy pinkies out dish. I got black truffles, we got lobster and a sous vide, all this kind of stuff that you're going to take a look at, and then we're going to talk about some good foundation recipes that you guys can absolutely do at home. Are you guys ready to get going? Fantastic. We got about 30 minutes together today, and we're going to get it together, guys. Okay, so first things first, we're going to turn up our cooktop here. And if I can get one of the fabulous people in the back here to kind of give me a hand with this thing, because it looks a little trickier. I don't think I got the lowdown on how to turn this thing on. So if one of you guys want to jump back and show me how to get this thing hot for a second, it'd be great. So the beef we're having today, so we're having surf and turf. We're having, it's coming out right now. Look at that, fabulous. So guys, we're having surf and turf. This is California filet mignon. This is from one of our ranch suppliers up in Northern California. It's grass-fed, grain-finished on barley. I think the muscle, the fat inlay inside the muscle, the marbling, I think is spectacular. It's incredibly tender and incredibly delicious. I think you guys are going to absolutely love it, right? Let's see here. Hey, can one of the gang from the back, from the culinary team in the back, come tell me how to turn this thing on? I feel like it's like locked or something. On, up, there you go. I feel like it wants to be on, but it's not on. Is it on? There you go. A little higher. Give it up for SJ. Nice job. Way to go. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to get our pan nice and hot. All right, guys, so I think a really great tip when you're searing protein, and this could be shrimp, this could be pork chop, this could be filet mignon, what we have right here, is you want to make sure that it's nice and dry. All right, so if you're going to sear a really beautiful piece of protein, the color and the sear is the flavor that really starts to develop as you start to cook it. And if you put a damp piece of protein, again, pork chop, shrimp, whatever, salmon, whatever, into a hot saute pan, a couple of things are going to happen. You're going to get splatter, which nobody likes, right? And also the moisture on the outside of the protein will begin to steam before the protein begins to caramelize, right? And then it's going to stick. Right, so a great way to avoid the protein sticking. And how many people, when they're cooking, when they saute anything, it always sticks to the pan, right? A lot of people. Okay, I've got a really great trick and tip for you to show you how to get past that. So we have our protein here. We have a beautiful filet mignon, right? And guys, we're going to hit this simply a little bit of salt on top of this. Now, when you're cooking steaks, you don't want to add pepper to the steak on the outside, not during the beginning, because pepper has a tendency to burn, okay? I like pepper, but I like pepper right at the very end. I don't like it on the protein in the saute pan, because burnt pepper is actually no bueno. I don't think it tastes particularly good, okay? How's the filet mignon? Do you guys like it so far? Isn't it beautiful, right? Yeah, our corporate culinary director got here on Wednesday and started putting this together with the whole team here, and he just did a marvelous job with everything, as he always does. All right, guys. So we got our filet mignon seasoned here. We're going to add some extra virgin olive oil to this, okay? Now, this next piece of this is going to be really important, guys, because we want to make sure that you get a slight smoke coming off the saute pan. Of course, we're not going to catch the house on fire, but we want to make sure you've got to see like the smoke that's starting to kind of wave off the top of this guy right here. So now I know we're in really, really great shape. So the other thing that's really important when you're cooking filet mignon is make sure that you temper your steaks. All right, so if you take something directly out of the refrigerator and put it into a saute pan, it's going to cook unevenly and take longer to cook. But if you let it rest at room temperature for 45 minutes or so before you start to cook it. So this is not refrigerator cold, it's not room temperature either, but it's ready for the saute. It's going to cook more evenly and it's going to cook quicker. Okay, so it's very, very important. Okay. Okay, so we got our pan here, we got our filet. We're just going to drop these in. And this is that magic moment. Can you guys see that? Like nothing sticks in a saute pan ever. So you want to make sure that your protein's tempered. You want to make sure your protein is dry. And you want to make sure your pan is preheated with the olive oil. Let it come to a slight smoke and then drop it in. It's like a party trick. It'll never, ever, ever stick. Is that a good tip for you guys? Right? Look at that. Like magic up in here. Having a really good time. All right, guys, so we're going to let those start to work. All right, those are going to start to cook. So this is going to be about 4.5 minutes on one side, 4.5 minutes on the other. Nice and medium, right? When I'm cooking for a dinner party, I'll generally go medium before I go medium rare. Me personally, I like it rare to medium rare, but not everybody does. So I think if you're cooking for a dinner party, it's safer to go medium, because if you like it medium rare, you don't mind it medium. But if you like it medium, you don't like it medium rare. Okay, does that make sense? So I think it's a good thing to shoot for, right? Just take it a little bit higher. It's a little more popular. Everybody's going to dig it. Go for medium. That's my success story at cooking dinner parties, okay? Now, guys, the next thing that we're going to work on is our beautiful garnish is going to be on top of that. If you guys see this thing, it kind of looks like what we call the hush puppy in the South, right? This is called Pomme Delphine. And this, it's laced with French black truffles, and it's like this really, really beautiful combination between mashed potatoes and pâte de choux, which is what Jamie just made 5 minutes ago, okay? So it's kind of whipped together into this like really beautiful batter, all right? And then we just take a little ice cream scoop here, and then we drop it in, and we're going to drop this into our fryer, and we're just going to let these start to cook and puff, okay? How's lunch? You guys loving it? Thank you very much, guys. Okay. We're going to cook 3 of these, maybe 4. All right, cool. What's your name, by the way? Everybody say hi to Brian. Camera operator extraordinaire. Taking good pictures for everybody today. Brian, you want to come see this filet? We're ready to flip. Are you ready? Can we get closer? Let's get closer. Is that a good shot? See what I'm talking about, Brian? You got to give them the close-up shots, brother.
Making me hungry.
There you go, man. So see the sear in this, guys? This is about taking the protein and just following the proper steps. You want to take it out. If it's wrapped up in either butcher paper or if it's in packaging from the grocery store and it feels a little damp, you want to dry it off, okay? You want to let it temper, and then you want to bring your saute pan up to preheat it, add your olive oil, and then you want to begin to sear it. So you're going to get a really gorgeous finished product. It's going to cook quicker, and ultimately it's going to taste better. And the proof's in the pudding. How's the filet? Isn't it delicious? Super nice, right? So we're starting to get some nice puff. Brian, you want to see our little puff, you guys here, right? So our beautiful Pomme Delphine, this is a recipe that was invented by Guy Savoy in Paris, right? So we got to give shout out to the master as we're starting to cook away, right? And so the other element of what we're working on right now is our lobster, okay? Now our lobster is being cooked sous vide, and it's kind of I think sometimes if you see these things, see how pretty that is? Isn't that beautiful, guys? All right, so this is a Maine lobster tail. It's never seen a tank. We have these flown out. And then we break the lobster in half, and then we quickly blanch the lobster just to set it for like 3 seconds in salted water, just enough so we can open up the shell and take the lobster tail out. Then the lobster tail gets bagged, cryovac with butter and garlic, and it gets cooked at 130 degrees for about 40 minutes, really, really slow. And is it not the most succulent lobster you've ever tasted? It's crazy, right? Because is it delicious? So when you cook in sous vide, and that means it's French for cooking under vacuum, flavor has nowhere to go. That's the reason things, when they're cooked sous vide, taste particularly enhanced, because when it starts to cook, protein loves low temperature. So cooking at 130 degrees, it just slowly starts to cook. It's the difference between hard scrambled eggs in a diner and creme brulee. Both are eggs, right? And so when you cook something sous vide, we're really talking about the creme brulee of protein versus something that's just kind of hard seared. And I think it's got a really elegant application when it comes to cooking lobster, because I think the flavor profile and the texture is just phenomenal. Isn't that gorgeous, guys? Beautiful, right? Okay, so we got a little more color here on top. Boom. All right, now our palm dauphine are starting to float. These guys are looking really, really great. All right, guys, we're going to take our knife here. We're going to cut open our bag. Hey, SJ, will you do me a favor? SJ is going to roll out here in a second. SJ and her entire culinary team are doing a masterful job of putting together all these demonstrations for everybody. All right, guys, so we're going to take our lobster and we're just going to roll this out. Doesn't that look delicious, everybody? Come on, man. Is that gorgeous, right? So let's look how succulent and soft this guy is. I just want to eat this like a taco, you know what I mean? Just kind of go at it. So succulent and soft. All right. Hey, SJ, have you got a second? All right, boom. All right. So if you do me a favor, could you grab some of the béarnaise sauce? Because I noticed it's not on our demo from the next kitchen over. Great. All right, good. All right, guys, so we're going to take our palm dauphine. Take a look at these things. Aren't these beautiful here, right? So I'm just going to look at these. Aren't these gorgeous, right? So I grew up in the South. We call these hush puppies, right? But it's a really beautiful combination between pâte de choux and palm dauphine. And it's like it's crispy as a French fry on the outside, but just kind of puffy and moussey in the middle. This is one of our favorite garnishes. We've used these for years. And I think they're incredibly delicious, right? So we're going to save these, okay? So again, we got our lobster. We got our palm dauphine. We got our beautiful steaks. Now the next thing we're going to do with our steak is we're going to butter baste this, right? So when you're cooking filet, especially in a pan like this, so the oil that we have that we're cooking with, it starts to get to the point where it's just sort of used. It can only do but just like transfer heat. But what we want to do is, guys, if you take a look at this crust. Hey, Brian, you got a sec? Come on in, man. I want to show you this. Okay, so if you take a look at the crust on the outside, you see this right here, right? Here we go. Boom. My mom always told me to stand up straight. There you go. See that? All right, guys. Isn't that beautiful, guys? So this crust right here, okay, now it's dehydrated like a dry sponge on top. Now it's really kind of juicy in the middle. But what we want to do is take all this really gorgeous, isn't that pretty, guys? Isn't that gorgeous, right? So we're going to take this, we're going to take our fat here, and I'm just going to drain this out, okay? I'm done with that. That layer of fat has done its job. But now, because that crispy exterior on the steak itself, it's ripe and ready to absorb yet another layer of fat, another layer of flavor. So what we're going to do now, guys, is we're going to butter baste this, okay? So we're going to take a couple of tablespoons of butter here. You're missing the best shot. This is like that Instagram moment that everybody likes. Okay, are you ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? Okay, so we're going to add our whole butter. All right, guys, we're going to add our fresh herbs. This is rosemary. All right, this is fresh thyme. Then we're going to add our garlic into this as well. And then we're going to take a spoon here. Thank you so much, Chef. Thank you. All right, and then we're going to let our butter get nice and foamy, and we're going to let kind of kiss the garlic and the herbs. When it starts to cook, all right, starts to get nice and foamy like that, then we're going to take this and we're just going to start basting our filet mignon with this last lick of flavor, okay? All of our fresh herbs, beautiful, nice, fresh butter flavor on top of that, garlic, Are you guys loving that? Isn't that beautiful or what? Yeah, it is. I could watch an entire culinary channel of just butter basting. It's like a whole new Food Network. I could watch this for 24 hours straight. Isn't that pretty? All right, guys, so I think we're in good shape here. These are gorgeous. Now, I'm gonna plate one, but then I want to cut one too. Hey, SJ, can I get another plate? I know we're probably going off script here. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna take these out. We're gonna let these rest for a second. Another really important aspect of cooking, especially if you're gonna slice the beef, if this were like a larger, like prime rib, or if this were a ribeye. Oh, thanks so much, beautiful, thanks. You wanna make sure you wanna let the beef rest before you slice it. But I'm gonna take this guy right here, and we're gonna cut this. I'm gonna plate this one. All right, so we're gonna take the excess fat, we're gonna blot it off. This is gonna be our hero plate right here, okay, boom. And this guy, my buddy Brian over here and I are gonna do this together. But I'm gonna cut into this bad boy right here. All right, boom. There you go. Isn't that beautiful, guys? You know it. Like, I love beef. I really, really do, man. People ask me all the time, like, what's your favorite thing? And I just think, are you guys with me? I love beef. I just think beef is so, like, God, I mean, what is better than that? Remember? I mean, I like carrots, you know what I mean? I like spinach, yada, yada. I like that. I've never had spinach taste like that. Oh, it gives me chills. It's so tasty. Are you guys having fun? We are too. All right, gang. Sweet gang of mine. Let's plate this up, shall we? Okay, so we got our filet. Boom. You ready to rock and roll? We're gonna stay on this shot as we start to plate this up, guys, okay? Yeah, there you go. Boom. I'm a television guy, you can tell. You got that, right? There you go. We're gonna stay here. All right, guys, we got that. We're gonna take our lobster, our succulent lobster. We're gonna drop that guy right on top, right? Isn't that pretty? Death-defying little lobster thing there, right? Then, guys, we're gonna top this off with our hollandaise or béarnaise sauce, okay? Look at that drip. Look at the drip, yo. Bang. It's amazing. Then we're gonna hit it with our Palm Dauphine that we just finished right here. Right on top. Beautiful, all right? And then, guys, we're gonna hit it with fresh chive. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil. And then last but not least, check out this truffle. Look at this truffle we got. Isn't that beautiful, guys? These are French burgundy truffles that were just flown in. The entire kitchen back there smells like truffles. And then we're just gonna top this off with fresh shaved truffle on top. Is that enough truffle or do you want more? You want more? Is that enough or do you want more? Beautiful. And they clip in a little bit of fresh thyme. Our truffles are so beautiful, especially this time of year. They almost have this like cocoa nib flavor to it. It's like a little chocolatey. It's so great. Guys, we're gonna finish up a little bit of fresh thyme. And ladies and gentlemen, this is our gorgeous surf and turf. Isn't that pretty? Who wants this? Can I make somebody a plate? Who wants this? All right, now don't fight. Don't fight. No, it's all right. Do you guys want it over here? Do you guys want it over here? Do you guys want it over here? You guys want it over here? What about over here? Left side of the room, you got to try harder. Who wants it? Who wants? Come on up. What's your name? Adam, how you doing, buddy? How are you? How was your lunch?
Amazing.
Fantastic. Good. That's for you, brother. Enjoy. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. Zac.
All right, chef.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate your time.
I'm just gonna
take that. Take that. You want to try this?
Stealing purse.
No, let's do it. No, I want you to try this
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Let's do it. I want you to tuck in this up while we're up here.
Yeah, I don't feel slighted that you gave that plate away.
No. There's we got goodies for everybody, my friend.
They don't feed me.
Try this.
Oh my God.
You ready for this one?
Yes.
Yes. We
Wow.
chef. We chef. There you go.
We chef.
It's okay. Yeah, you go.
yeah,
Eat it like a
no,
pizza. There you go.
Oh, like a sandwich.
Like like a truffle.
Like a truffle meat sandwich. It's getting dirty.
Do it.
Oh.
Come on. Isn't that great?
Wow.
That's it. The man's speechless.
Which never happens, by the way. Legitimately speechless.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go. I'm gonna be here.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you guys. Palm Desert, thank you so much for having us out. We appreciate
Tyler
you so much.
Florence.
Hey guys, listen. So if you're in the San Francisco area, come up. We'd love to have you. Miller and Lux. It's our steakhouse. It's at the Chase Center, home of the world champion Golden State Warriors. Right? We're in the playoffs. Thank God. We're doing it. Right? And we'd love to have you guys up. We also have Wayfair Tavern in the Financial District, and we have we also have Miller and Lux at the Four Seasons in Vail. I was just there yesterday, and we're also at the Four Seasons Hawaii on the Big Island of Hawaii. So we'd love to have you guys. So come have some steak with us. We'd love to feed you. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Tyler Florence. Whew. That's the entree, if you know what I mean. Oh, all right. So we are going to take a little break, let you guys finish eating your entree. I'm gonna get away from SJ with that hot oil. Enjoy your entree. Take a peek at the silent auction because it is closing soon, and we'll see you in a few. I'm taking this back. Oh.
Hey guys, I'm gonna take a big picture for social media. Is that cool? All right, I'm gonna. It's called the selfie, or really an ussy. You know what I mean? You guys ready to do this? All right, on the count to 3, you gotta go. 1, 2, 3, yeah!
Oh, I'm